You know what I'm saying? Just go to their hotel and move militant.
I believe people play with people intelligence the way they play with people intelligence and intellect. You know, the way they do today. You know, people are telling lies for a living. You know what I mean?
You know what's the to me? There's a who pick who he be fight with.
Right.
Like if you sit there and you go, oh, I'm not going because this nigga. Yeah, I think I can take him.
Right. And when you move around the city, bro, you gotta be careful. And that's just, we dealing with G-Unit.
Under one of the most outrageous feuds in hip-hop. Tony Yayo recently appeared and called out J. Prince, potentially revealing the largest extortion scheme the industry has ever witnessed. J. Prince, the head of Rap-A-Lot Records, and a powerful figure in Houston, tempted to execute his notorious check-in play on 50 Cent. But instead of giving up like others, 50 completely flipped the script he broadcast. We have to roll it back to see how this storm began. J. Prince is more than just a name. He is a power move in human form and the founder of Rap-A-Lot and the Silent Dawn. Throughout the entire game, tension between Houston's underworld influence and Gun. It's all gas. No brakes mentality, just exploded. Now, it's not just a rap beef. It's a full-blown street-level clash. In Houston streets. He has been keeping it up for decades. His name alone keeps people waiting in line. If an artist arrived without checking in, they could simply go without their ice. Or worse, 50 Cent is here. He is never one to bow down.
Like I got out there, they showed me a lot of love. But Shreveport had the infrastructure already here. Like even the tax incentive was put back.
Well, yeah. And so a lot of people have been talking about, man, he's here only because they gave him a cheap deal or something like that. The reality is there's more to that deal than that. Way more.
They can't see.
Break that down.
I'm spending $20 million this year anyway in the same building that they're saying was the cheap building.
Right.
So fine.
From his early days of feuding with Ja Rule, Irv Gotti, and the other members of Murder Inc., 50 made it very evident that he doesn't engage in mob politics. His gun was constructed like a war squad, with no ring kissing, no checking in, and most definitely no paying for protection. This attitude strongly conflicted with Houston's regulations, so when rumors began to circulate that 50 might move to H-Town, people understood that if 50 Cent actually arrived in H-Town without first checking in with J. Prince, it would not be quiet. Rather, it would be a full-fledged power play. And guess what? He did it. 50 was in New York doing what he does best, talking slickly and teasing the people. When what began as a long-distance Cold War descended into something far more serious, 50 casually posted on Twitter, "I love New York, but I live in Houston now. I'll explain later." This wasn't about clout. 50 moved with a plan. New York taxes were eating his money alive, and Houston offered him everything. At the same time, J. Prince held it down in Houston like the city's silent boss. They exchanged subliminal messages but never crossed each other's boundaries. He required big space, low taxes, and a burgeoning hip-hop scene that was set to take off. The issue is that he neglected to check in, and J. Prince didn't take that lightly. Branson Cognac wanted a southern base, and Houston's liquor industry was booming. He saw the potential to simply tap into the culture, promote the brand, and bring some huge entertainment money to H-Town.
Change the word for the youngsters. The checking in part, you know, is they seem to get hung up on that word checking in.
Yeah.
So if we could diversify that word and bring it up to a 2021 thing.
Right. What's the word, OG? What's the word?
Maybe we
reportedly saw it as 50 attempting to sit on the throne without displaying any respect. According to some, he even sent a few people to exert pressure on 50 to pay for local protection. But 50 refused, saying that they don't pay to play and that they roll deep with their own crew. Things quickly heated up, and there were rumors that J. Prince attempted to hit 50 with a no-fly zone over Houston, essentially saying, "You're not welcome here." Smaller names in the game might be amenable to that type of power move. However, we're discussing 50 Cent here. But 50 Guys, he clowned the entire check-in drama and made it very evident that he doesn't play that mob game by turning the heat up on J. Prince like it was reality TV. He targeted Instagram with memes, clever captions, and subtle barbs that had people riveted to their screens. In front of everyone, 50 dared J. Prince to tread on him. But behind the scenes, chaos was breaking out. 50 had been working hard to construct a $20 million G-Unit film and TV studio in Houston. But this wasn't just business. It was about jobs, internships, and a new energy for the city. But suddenly, the entire project moved to Shreveport, Louisiana. Officially, 50 claimed it was about better infrastructure. But if you were paying attention, do you know the real reason is that Jay saw it as 50 trying to sit on the throne without giving respect. Some even claim that J. Prince sent a few people to exert pressure on 50 to pay for local protection. But 50 refused, that they don't pay to play, and that they rolled deep with their own crew. Things quickly heated up. Rumors began to circulate that J. Prince attempted to hit 50 by declaring a no-fly zone over Houston, essentially stating, "You're not welcome here." We're talking about 50 Cent, but that kind of power move might work on lesser-known players. Using slick captions, memes, and subtle jabs, he ramped the heat up on J. Prince. Like it was reality TV, he made it obvious that he doesn't play the mob game by clowning the entire check-in drama. And 50 dared J. Prince to approach him, which he did it in front, but behind the scenes, chaos was developing. 50 had been working hard to build a $20 million G-Unit film and TV studio in Houston. Wasn't just business. It was about jobs, internships, and a new energy for the city. Suddenly, the entire project was moved to Shreveport, Louisiana. 50 claimed it was for better infrastructure. But if you were paying attention, you know why?
So stupid, and you're not using your powers or access to powers that you have. You're looking at it as a negative versus a positive. You know, we all know if you can tap into good people wherever you go.
Wherever, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Politics in Houston were becoming heated. And 50 wasn't about to start playing chess with snakes. This is where everything went wrong. In 2022, only 1 year after 50 landed, Houston not only accepted but celebrated him despite J. Prince's attempts to push him away. During the Thanksgiving Day parade, the crowd watched as 50 Cent was given a key to the city by the actual mayor, Sylvester Turner, and the day was formally dubbed November 24th as 50 Cent Day. Crazy Mayor Turner praised him as an entrepreneur and humanitarian for his G-Unity program, which helped high school students. 50 was featured on that parade float as though he had been born and raised in Thowne, but he didn't stop there. Through his G-Unity Foundation, 50 began giving back to the community by organizing turkey drives, toy giveaways, school donations, and other events that truly touched people. He didn't just move to the city, he became actively involved in it. 50 was not merely creating noise, he was making moves. He partnered with the Houston Rockets, Texans, and Astros through his Sire Spirits brand and transformed his business endeavor into a citywide power play. In 2023 alone, he donated $850,000 worth of toys. And in 2024, he helped raise $500,000 for the Houston Children's Charity by selling 2 enormous bottles of his Lamandau Raw champagne. The entire event brought in an incredible $6 million. While J. Prince was in a Vlad TV interview, Tony Yayo, its most outspoken voice, finally clarified why Gunnett never played that check-in game. According to Yayo, Gunnett remained militant, saying straight up that the entire check-in system is just a slick way to line up rappers. He was allegedly sitting back watching all this unfold like a king watching someone else take over his throne. The man who used to run Houston from the shadows was now watching 50 Cent get celebrated in the spotlight. For extortion, the unwritten, Norm is to check in, pay up, or risk being robbed. Here's how it supposedly works. J. Prince made his entire career by protecting artists in Houston. He crowned himself the unofficial king of the city and established this phony, friendly system called checking in. Let's be honest, it sounds until you realize it's just a fancy setup for getting into your money. People are respectful, which really means to run that money. They will say it's for your safety, like they'll make sure your chain returns if something disappears. But don't check in because that's when the real drama begins. Yayo even brought up Pop Smoke's predicament as a warning point. Pop Smoke's passing was a warning rather than just a tragedy.
Don't turn me down. What you said? Don't turn me down. Down, folks.
Don't turn you down.
Yeah, man. What you on, folks?
What you mean what I'm on?
What you on, nigga? What the deal there? What up?
What up? You want to buy your shit back or what?
You ain't get you flunked out ass little nigga. I'm trying to see where you at. You dumb mother. What you got? $20 out of car?
Nah, nigga. You know what we got? Nigga, start that cap.
Man, crazy as a motherfucker.
Nigga, capping, bro. They gonna believe anything.
You want me to start my car? I just took a picture in the same car today with my little boy.
Artists who travel without adequate safety or who rely too heavily on street relationships are vulnerable. When it comes to street security, there are always conditions attached, and when things get tough, no one is truly there to help. Yayo didn't mince words when he claimed that all these gangster and mob connections don't simply put. They bring danger and the feds. This isn't the 90s anymore. Instead, we're talking about artists being set up and mafia-style extortion, which is Rico's case territory gun. They didn't want to take a chance. They would rather remain impoverished and owe no one anything than become involved with shady characters who had ulterior motives. Then the NBA on business. Young boy pulled up to Houston, refusing to check in. His apartment is hit, the chains are taken, the money is stolen, the car keys are stolen, and suddenly everything disappears. Instead of handling it behind the scenes, like a real one, J. Prince uploaded an entire video on Instagram purporting to be a hero and claiming to have recovered the stolen goods, as if he were doing public relations for himself.
The little homie, young boy, place got broke into. People went in his place, disrespected different things, and I got a call about it. And the little homies that went into this place want to make that right because they understand that, you know what I mean, young boy family is okay with me. And as you can see, homie, to make a long story short, I got your keys to your Rolls Royce, I got your keys to your McLaren, you know, all that shit that they took, and the homie, Shakur, what you got, homie?
You got your Rolls Royce umbrellas, you got your keys, you got a bunch of other shit.
Young boy clapped back, claiming that Prince should have handled it off camera if he truly intended to help. Instead, he appeared to be a 60-year-old clout chaser attempting to gain some internet.
Hey, I don't respect none of that shit, man. If you got something for me, man, they got plenty around me you could call. Man, nigga, it's plenty ways you can get in touch with me. Man, don't get on no internet and do nothing publicly. Don't do nothing dealing with no publicity, none of that pussy and shit. And I'm good on the keys, gangster. When you buy shit cash, two keys come with the car.
Cameron and Mace joined in, dragging J. Prince. They claimed that true pioneers don't extort. Instead, they inspire. And if you're still playing mob boss in your 60s, you've already lost. They also brought up the notorious dice games. Immediately behind intimidation, Prince's second favorite. Hustle Interview 1246-1316 Houston is known for these high-stakes games. But not in a positive way. Word has been circulating for years that they use rigged setups to trap rappers. And the most tragic example is Takeoff, who we all remember dying at one of those dice games. What began as a flex turned into a shootout, one of the saddest moments in hip-hop history, and it all happened in a place built on street games and egos. Based on rumors circulating the streets, what actually happened that night wasn't just a random tragedy. Rumor has it that J. Prince became irate when his Quavo Takeoff didn't go as planned.
What do you say to that?
What I would say to that is, I have a track record, man, and the Prince family have a track record of 30 plus years of, you know what I mean, honoring and loving on our guests and being with our guests, and no shit like this never happened. But here's the thing, and this is what people don't understand. We ain't never had nobody to attack us. If you know what I mean. When a man attack a situation with a weapon, then, it become a playing field where, any and every.
According to reports, he instructed his crew to send a message was only intended to be a warning or a little pressure, but it turned deadly, and Jay Prince lost his life. After the smoke cleared, he avoided responsibility like a professional escape artist avoiding conversation, everywhere and downplaying everything as if it were unimportant. At one point, he essentially acknowledged that he had destroyed evidence, is the worst part. Not only was Takeoff the victim, but Duke the jeweler, who won $100,000 in a dice game and likely felt like he was on top of the world, was ambushed, robbed and murdered before he could reach his car. Another young black man was taken too soon, and for what? Some rigged dice, a shady setup, and a twisted code of honor that has nothing to do with respect.
Walking by, he actually went in the restroom to wash blood off his hand where he had reached up on the Takeoff. He had to pick him up, and
It's not even fair to compare that to 50 Cent, who is out here constructing community centers, providing food for families, and making donations to schools. One of them is creating a lasting legacy, while the other continues to terrorize the streets with antiquated intimidation tactics. However, this isn't simply memes and trolling anymore. The 50s are supposedly engaging in a completely different game. Behind the secret is that he is speaking with people off camera to obtain evidence that the check-in system is nothing more than a cunning extortion scheme. In addition to talking, he is also moving and has alluded to the federal government becoming involved, which might potentially checkmate 50 doesn't bluff those memes he posts. Behind the scenes, he loads ammunition, and he knows how to play chess, not checkers. 50 may not be playing for, one of them has the streets behind him. The other has the city behind him. But only one is winning this war. 50 Cent didn't just move to Houston. He took it over when Jay Prince was allegedly attempting to run artists out with pressure plays. He could be accumulating a case, saving receipts, and waiting for the right opportunity to release that one leak, Fed tip, or post that could quickly destroy Jay Prince's entire legacy. 50 shadow games were displayed. Now that the entire check-in industry is faltering and collapsing under the weight of publicity, the question is who actually controls the city after Bold was given the key by the mayor and began creating genuine programs that genuinely help the people, with the support of the city, the fans, and the next generation. Houston has transformed from a street person laboring behind the scenes to a guy standing front and center. Generation, tell us in the comments whether you think 50 is going to far or if he is the hero hip-hop needed to finally reveal the truth about this whole underground game. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more candid discussions and in-depth explorations of hip-hop's secret struggles. Tell someone who needs to know the truth about this. And believe us when we say that you won't want to miss what comes next. It only gets messier from here.